Warning, the following contains minor spoilers for Squid Game. I would also like to put another disclaimer at the start of this video. I am pronouncing Korean names, places and games, so if I make any mistakes, I do want to apologise. I'm British, that means I'm uncultured. There are few things in entertainment more intriguing to me than death games. While video games, books, and even TV shows and manga have all taken their own approach to this topic, each one of them has added something new and interesting to stake their own claim within the genre. A group of down-on-their-luck individuals who end up participating in a game that could potentially change their lives before discovering the deadly consequences that lie within. Some join willingly, others not so. Some are selfless, while others are completely selfish. And there's always that one person who ends up being the pseudo-antagonist of the story, throwing aside all their friends and teammates and claiming to be the only one worthy of surviving within the game, whilst the main villains work behind the scenes in the shadows, manipulating the characters and events that occur, and throughout the duration of the game we start to realise the true scope of what our humanity means, and just what it will take for some to completely cast that aside in order to come out on top. So when I was browsing through my Netflix catalogue as I usually do every night to fight off the crippling loneliness of isolation, when the title of one particular show stood out to me, just from the thumbnail alone I was already intrigued. Would this be the new binge-worthy series that everyone would be talking about? Yes. What, do you live under a rock? The show in question is Squid Game, a South Korean survival drama where 456 players must compete in a set of 6 games in order to win a grand prize of 45.6 billion won. That's about £30 million for those who don't know. Don't worry, I've done the math for you, thank me later. Kicking itself off with the titular children's game, showing several children pushing each other around in order to win before cutting to present day and introducing us to our main character Gi-hun, robbing his own mother. It's here that we learn just how far our main character has fallen and how tight a hold his vices have on him, owing several million won to thugs and money brokers, under threat of having his organs sold on the black market, and his ex-wife threatening to take his daughter away as they are moving to the US in less than 2 weeks' time. It's on his way home, however, that his life is forever changed, running into a smartly dressed man offering cash for a game of dakji. After being humiliated by him for a while, Gi-hun eventually wins and is given a small amount of money, before being handed a card with a number to call if he wishes to play for more. With his debts and responsibilities piling higher around him and time running out, he calls the number and the game begins. Waking up to find that over 455 other people have all done the same thing as him. All of them are chasing the almost obscene sum of money promised to them that could potentially make every single one of their problems disappear. But at what cost? It becomes quickly apparent to the players when they realise that even the easiest children's game in this prison-like compound could result in their swift and unceremonious death. The childlike joy that a game of red light green light could bring quickly devolves into a harrowing sight as anyone who moves during the red light portion is shot down where they stand. The opening episode really hammers home the unexpected dark twists and future tone of the series, and the second elevates this by providing us with some much needed backstory on each of our characters. Each of our main cast getting several minutes and introducing us to the people in the outside world that are hunting them down, or the ones affected by their mistakes. It provides a much needed pathos to the show that counteracts the morbid nature of the games themselves, but perhaps setting an even more haunting aspect that these people are willingly choosing to participate. Even after being given the choice to leave, the thought of returning to their old lives and facing their crushing levels of debt is so terrifying to them that they'd rather risk imminent death for even a slight chance at the money. This hangs heavily throughout the series' lean 9-episode run, especially as the story expands outwards from Gi-hun's somewhat selfish life and explores the other people embroiled in the game, both players and the guards. It takes a lot in the current day and age to make this type of story have widespread appeal to the masses. It's a formula that already has numerous different iterations throughout the years, hitting its main stride in the West with the Hunger Games back in 2008. There are a few examples of good and well-written death game stories in video games and books, such as Danganronpa, and there are many more types within film and television, ranging from the comedic to the dark and gritty, each one taking its own spin on the story or aspect that helps to keep each one feeling fresh for the most part. Squid Game takes this concept and runs with it, knowing full well that these types of shows have existed in the past and that many more will be made in the future, The burdens of modern society are only something that will become more prevalent in time, meaning the show's message will stay relevant for years after its original popularity has ended. One of the series' greatest strengths is weaving a tangled web of character development that gives some satisfying payoff the longer you watch. Kang Sae-byuk, played by Jong Ho-young, is tough as nails on the outside, but occasionally reveals a kinder, gentler side. Gi-hun's childhood friend, Cho Sang-woo, played by Park Hae-soo, is an even more intriguing character, having stolen money from his clients and going so far as to put his own mother's home and business on the line as collateral. Even after revealing a lot of information to the audience, the characters' truest intentions and their driving force remain a mystery time and time again, which creates this desire to find out, which brilliantly keeps us watching. But throughout all the violence and the multiple thought-provoking moments, the show stays true to its one central thread: the harsh contrast of the innocence of childhood against the adult world we're all forced to endure. You'll find that just as soon as one question is answered, more begin to arise after every episode. Who are the masked guards? Why is this large amount of money on offer in the first place? And who is behind it all, for just a few examples? Answers do come with due time, the show ending in a way that truly emphasizes the struggle that has been set up so far within the series. There is no going back. They either win and get the money, or lose and are killed either way. Squid Game to me has been one of the most fun and interesting shows to hit Netflix in some time, mashing together the innocent and carefree days of childhood with the brutal and harsh reality of the world that adulthood can bring, as it forces everyday people to compete in life or death scenarios in a bid to potentially wipe out their debts and be free. It's equal parts hard-hitting and squirm-inducing. It's an edge-of-your-seat thriller with some genuinely emotional character building thrown in, all neatly wrapped in a bright pastel colour palette. It's an instant binge-worthy show, offering plenty of twists and surprises, tightly written, with a cast that completely sells the desperate world in which it's taking place. Calamari Clash gets a 9 out of 10. It's one of the most unique things to have come out this year, and hopefully sets a precedent for the quality of future shows to come on the platform, and I for one can't wait. I highly recommend you check it out. I know this review is light on spoilers, but trust me, you'll want to see this one for yourself.